In this video, we're going to talk about a verb tense called the passé composé. The passé composé is also called in English the compound past. The passé composé is used to talk about events or actions that took place in the past and are already completed. So if you think of this as a timeline, and right here is the present. So this is le présent, the present tense. So that's what's happening now. The passé composé refers to some event that happened in the past. And it's an event that happened at this point in time and finished happening at that point in time. It's not something that started in the past and is still happening now. It's something that happened once and then it was done with. Or it might have happened repeatedly, but not over a period of time. It was just like a one-time thing. Forming the passé composé is pretty simple. Well, I guess it depends who you ask. So there are three parts to the passé composé. One part is the subject. One part is the auxiliary verb, and I'm going to just call it AUX, or auxiliary. In English, sometimes we call these helping verbs. And then there's the past participle. So this is the past participle. And we'll abbreviate that to PP. So your subject can be any of the subject pronouns, or it doesn't even have to be a pronoun, just anything that can be a subject. So je, tu, il, elle, nous, vous, il, elle, and let's not forget on. Okay, any of those can be your subject, or any proper noun, or not even a proper noun, just any noun, including proper nouns. The auxiliary is usually the verb avoir. Now, there are some times when it's not avoir, but for now we're just going to worry about the ones that are avoir, and that's most of them. So you need to know your conjugations. Sorry, that's AS. Avant, avait, on. You have to know that. And then the past participle is formed using the infinitive. So if the infinitive ends with ER, the ER becomes E accent aigu. If the infinitive ends with IR, then the IR becomes I. And if the infinitive ends with RE, then the RE becomes you. Now let's look at this with some examples. So let's say I want to say I have nous as my subject, and I want to say we watched. It's a very simple sentence, but we watched. Well, here's my subject. The auxiliary verb is going to be the form of avoir that matches nous. So this is going to be avons. And then the past participle is going to be the past participle of the verb that means to watch. So to watch is regarder. And now we need to make that into a past participle. So to do that, take off the ER and replace it with the E accent aigu. So nous avons regardé means we watched. Let's do another one. You sang. So here we're going to have the form of avoir, and here we're going to have the past participle of the verb chanter. So the form of avoir is a, and that comes from up here. And the form of chanter is you take off ER and replace it with E accent aigu. Tu as chanté, you sang. How about elle I'm going to say she finished. So we're going to use the form of the verb avoir for the auxiliary and the past participle of the verb finir for the past participle. So elle a. And so, oops, I got ahead of myself. So if we take off the IR, replace it with an I, we get fini. Let's do one more. Vous. I want to say you waited. So the vous form of avoir is avez, vous avez, and then with attendre we're going to take the RE and change it to a U. So attendu. Vous avez attendu. You waited. And that's all there is to it for forming the passé composé. Now it's just a matter of using them in sentences